Joining me right now is Alabama Congressman Jerry Carl. He is a member of the House Appropriations and Natural Resources Committees. Congressman, how will you vote?
Good morning. I'm voting for it. I think it's a good CR. I think we need to vote it in. We need to keep the country moving, and I think it's a lot closer to probably to 11 votes versus 24 that Matt was just talking about. Not real sure where he got his numbers.
Congressman, I spoke with the Speaker on Sunday, and he's obviously trying to avoid a government shutdown, but is also facing this pressure from Matt Gaetz and others who are saying that, look, they don't want to continue Nancy Pelosi's spending. But my question to you is, why aren't the appropriations bills done yet? I remember talking about this issue during the 15 rounds of Kevin McCarthy becoming Speaker, when I said very clearly, look, you've got these rules in place, but what is the likelihood that you're going to be at the edge once again in a government shutdown, and you're going to have to deal with this? How come the appropriations bills are not ready yet?
Because we can't get them on the floor to vote. We've had such pushback from this handful of people that they seem to shut things down. When you've got a 4-vote majority, and they've pretty much told you you can't get it on the floor unless it's their way, it makes it hard to get appropriations finished. We've got 2 more to go, and we'll be through with our job. Then it has to make it through, obviously, Ways and Means. There are some real static and problems there with some of these programs. But, you know, we cut the budget tremendously. At least one of the budgets was cut by 30%. We did exactly what we were asked to do. We went back to 2022. We cut everything except for military. We've done everything we've been asked to do, but now the goalposts have been moved, and now they want more cuts, or they won't let them on the floor. You can't play ball if you keep changing the rules. It's impossible, and that's our frustration, is just being members kind of on the sidelines watching this argument going on.
Well, I mean, I think consumers and voters are also frustrated because it seems to be that the Republicans are never united. There's always a fight going on. Meanwhile, the Democrats get in line on every issue. Nancy Pelosi was able to just wrangle up all the members to do what she wanted. But here you've got Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz threatening to introduce a motion to remove Speaker McCarthy. He's also facing criticism from Indiana Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. She put out a statement yesterday attacking him, calling him weak, leading another worthless Congress. What's going on within the party?
So you have a handful of people you have to keep in mind that's running for a different position, whether it be for a Senate seat or a governor's seat. They're running for different positions, or they're getting out of politics altogether. So they're taking all the cheap shots they can. It helps them on their ratings. It gets them on your program more often, and it certainly helps their coffers. They raise money. Look, at the end of the day, we've got the American people to answer to. I have folks in my district to answer to. If I have a young lady and a young man getting married and they forget their passport's expired, and we're out, you know, we're locked up down here, and they can't get their passports, they will remember that the rest of their life. We have military serving 2,000 miles away. They can't feed their family because they don't get a check. They are going to remember that the rest of their life, and these members need to give that some consideration. All we're asking is for 30 days to continue to try to work this out.
Yeah, it's a great point to make, and that's why I think the Speaker wants to bring this to the floor to expose anybody who's out there who says, I'm going to vote against this, a.k.a. I'm not going to fund the military. I mean, Doug Collins is with me this morning, who is a former colleague of yours. Doug, jump in here, because by all accounts, it seems to me that Kevin McCarthy has tried to do a very good job. He has brought an impeachment inquiry against this president based on what they have been able to come up with. We would not know half of the stuff about Joe Biden and his family taking in all that money from foreigners, 20 shell companies set up, if it weren't for the majority, even though it's now a 4-seat majority.
Exactly. You're right about that, Maria, as far as what they find out. But, Congress, it's good to see you this morning. But I've been in those rooms before, been there for a long time on these same things you're talking about. But here's my question for you, and it's a reminder to everyone that, you know, it takes Republicans to pass these bills. And if you don't have the 217, 218, it doesn't matter. So if this is not a Democrat fight, and we need to realize that. But I do have a question, because it's been brought up before. If you sent it over in the $1.47 trillion budget that was, you know, back to 22 levels, you sent it to the Senate, you've already got 30 30 at least Republicans who will vote with the Democrats to not accept that. Has there been discussion about what these who are holding out will accept off of that 1.47? Has there been any negotiating point, or is it simply let's just move to shutdown and then see what happens?
Move to shut down and see what happens. That's their only focus. Yep. That's the only thing I can read here. So it's frustrating on our end because we're sitting around, we're doing our committee stuff, but it's very frustrating. We see the writing on the wall, and we're working hard to keep that. I've got at least one member of that 12 to 24, depends on what numbers you look at, that I'm working on, trying to chip away at it. But it's not a good situation for this country. And we didn't get sent up here as Republican Party and a majority to fight among ourselves. So it's very disappointing in this handful of people that doesn't have enough vision to think 30 days is the end of the world. And that's what this boils down to, is give us 30 more days and let us continue trying to put this package together.
Okay, but what is the likelihood that you're going to get a change in 30 days, Congressman?
Well, we won't if we don't get 30 days to continue working it out. I mean, the deadline's on us. McCarthy says we're spending the weekend. I've already been up here one weekend. That'll make 18 days in a row that I've been up here. Majority of us are trying our best to get things pushed through and worked out. We're just getting no help from the other side. And they're coming up with all these false numbers also. When I say the other side, it's just a handful of people. But the false stuff that's flying around, we have to kind of talk that down, and because some of our members are very sensitive on this vote, and they should be, because we have to go back and answer to the folks in our district.
Yep. All right, Congressman, we're going to be watching your work, obviously, with broad implications. We appreciate your time this morning. Jerry Carl joining us in D.C. Thank you, sir.